I'm Noodle, and in today's step-by-step guide I'm going to show you how to manually trade with the ship yourself, how to set up a manual trade run, how to set up autotraders, and how to do absolutely everything in between. Before I start, I would like to mention that if this guide sounds scripted, it is. This is because I struggle to speak clearly in general, and because there is so much for me to talk about that if I didn't write it all down, I would forget most of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Once again, I want to thank everyone for all the positive feedback and all the lovely things that you have all said. It means more to me than anyone could possibly imagine. Thank you. Before even thinking about trading in X4 Foundations, there are a few things you will need to do. To start with, you will need to map out a few sectors and reveal the stations you will be trading with. The more trading stations you uncover, the more trading opportunities you will have, which in turn will lead to more profits. Once you have revealed a few stations, you'll be able to see what those stations want to buy and sell. The products with the blue dots next to them are what stations are requesting to buy, and the products with the orange dots next to them are what stations want to sell. Each box with this information gives a general idea of what is being sold and bought by the stations within that box. You can turn these boxes off and on by clicking on the trade filters icon on the top right of your map. Now, if you zoom in closer to a few stations, you'll notice that there is a blue bar saying time until information expires. This timer will start the moment the station leaves your scanner range, and when it reaches 0, you will no longer receive any more information on how much that station is buying or selling products for. To counter this, you would need to place a satellite close to them, which will allow you to see the trade offers of these stations indefinitely. And to do this, you will need to find and dock at a wharf if you are flying a small or medium ship, or you will need to find a shipyard if you are flying anything larger. I would suggest that you use a small ship, as these are generally faster for this task. Once you have docked your ship, the Dock Interactions menu will appear at the top of your screen. On this menu, click on Upgrade Repair Docked Ships. From here, you will be able to outfit your ship to your desired specifications, as well as fill up your ship with consumables such as the satellites we currently need. To buy the satellites, you go to the Consumables tab on your left and click on it. As you can see, there are two types of satellites: the much more expensive advanced satellites and the much cheaper normal satellites. The only difference between these two is that the advanced satellites have a much bigger range. However, there may be more differences that I don't know about. To choose how many satellites you want, you will need to click and hold on the amount bar and drag your mouse to the right until you have reached the desired number of satellites you want to buy. Once you are happy with the amount you want to buy, you can head over to the right of your screen and click Add to Shopping List. Now you will be taken to the shopping list, where you can confirm your order at the bottom right of your screen. Once you have done this, you will have to wait for a minute for them to be loaded onto your ship. Note that if the station does not have the resources required to make the satellites you have just ordered, you will either have to wait until it does or undock and go to a different wharf. Now go into your map and go to the stations you want covered by a satellite. Now right-click somewhere close to the stations and click Start Guidance to Position. This will give you a rough idea of where to stop your ship and to unload your satellite. Once you have reached the guidance point you set for yourself, you can unload the satellite. Do this by stopping your ship and pressing Enter to open up the Ship Interactions menu on the top of your screen. Next, you will need to click on the Deploy Civilian drop-down box. Then click on the satellite you want to release into space. Now when you go into your map mode, you will see that the satellite scanning range covers the stations and that the 5-hour timer has disappeared. This means that from now on, you will receive the station's bought and sold wares information forever. Before I carry on with this guide, I thought it would be a good idea to show you how large the range of the advanced satellite is compared to the standard satellite. As you can see, the advanced satellite has a much larger range, but as big as that range is, I personally don't think I can justify using the advanced satellite instead of the standard satellite, with it being so expensive. Next, I will show you how to make your ship perform this task for you if you have a pilot controlling your ship instead. In the map mode, go to the Property Owned tab on your left and go down to the ship that has your satellites and click on it. Now that the ship is selected, right-click where you want the satellite to be placed on the map. Then click on Civilian, and finally, click on the satellite you want to use. The ship will now head to the specified location and place a satellite there for you. If you want to, you can queue up where the ship should place another satellite. After it has placed the first satellite, it will continue to place the second one where you told it to. Also, I should mention that you can make your ship go to a wharf and stock up on satellites by right-clicking on the wharf when you have the ship selected and clicking on Upgrade Repair At. We can now tell the ship to stock up on more satellites, and like last time, complete the order by clicking on Add to Shopping List, then Confirm Order. Your ship will be ready to place more satellites for you after it has stocked up on them. Now that we have coverage on some of the stations, we'll need to buy a ship with a lot of cargo space. This isn't necessary to do a trade run, but it is much more effective and profitable than using a small ship. To do this, you can right-click on any wharf and choose Buy Ships. Now click on the first drop-down box at the top of your screen and select size M. Now you can click on the next drop-down box to view the selection of medium ships this wharf has to offer. For trading in the universe, we are going to want to buy a transporter ship. All the different transporter ships will have differing speeds, cargo space, and so on. I should mention that any ships that have a star next to them will be locked until you have enough reputation points to gain a rank or two with the faction selling those ships. Once you have done this, the faction will give you the license required to buy these ships. For this guide, I'm going to buy the Idis Vanguard as my trade ship, and I'm going to give it the minimum required loadout to be operational. Next, I will go over to the left and click on the crew tab and fill the ship with a service crew. As far as I know, a service crew is supposed to increase the performance of a ship's auto-trading capabilities, but I could be wrong. Now that we're ready to buy our new trading ship, we can see how much it's going to cost us at the top right of our screen. Now we can click on Add to Shopping List. From here, we will be able to choose how many Idis Vanguards we want with the loadout we have chosen. Do this by clicking on the plus and minus icons next to the ship name in the shopping list until you have your desired amount, and click on Confirm Order. The ship will now take a certain amount of time to be built before you can use it. Remember that if the wharf does not have the resources it requires to build the ship, you will have to wait until it does. Now that your ship is complete, you will have to board it. Enter the pilot seat and take control of it, and then undock. You will almost be ready for your first manual trade run, but there are still a few things to understand first. To see what these things are, we will need to open up the map mode. If the sold and bought wares information isn't showing, click on the trade filters icon on the top right to see them. You will now see a general rundown of the products being sold and bought by all the stations you have in your view, which means this information is watered down. If you want to see information on stations that aren't being shown, you can zoom in on them to see what they are selling and buying. You can filter what you want shown to you by clicking on the Filter Settings tab on the top right of your map. From here, you can set the products you want to have shown to you by the maximum price it would cost you per unit. This is handy for when you want to find trades that would be cheaper to run if you don't have a lot of money to play around with. Next is the minimum volume. Here you can filter what is shown to you by the amount of any single product a station is willing to sell. This is useful because the more of a single product a station has to sell, the cheaper it will usually be to buy. The more a station is requesting a product, the more you can usually sell it for. I'm going to choose medium or higher because I have a large cargo bay and I want to fill my cargo space fully with tradable products. Next is the number of offers you want to have shown to you at any given time. This will change that to the number of your choosing and can declutter your map space. However, I like to see as many offers from stations as possible, so I will leave this on 5. Under storage, you can filter out the products that require a certain cargo type. We have a trading ship, so we can only carry container type products in our ship. Solids and liquids are carried by mining ships. Now that we have the filters sorted, we can look for our first trade run. By hovering your mouse over the orange or blue dots next to the name of any given product, you will be able to see exactly how many of those products are being offered for sale or requested by a specific station. The station that this box shows you will be dependent on the filters you have set, as well as what the game decides would be the best deal price-wise. For this guide, we're going to buy refined metals for 132 credits per unit. If you click on refined metals, you will be adding yet another filter to what product is being shown to you on the map. This will make it easier to track down a station that is requesting refined metals. There are no stations buying this product in this sector, so we will need to zoom out until we have a station in our view that is requesting them. Now that we have found a station that is willing to buy refined metals, we need to check how many they are requesting so we don't buy too many of them. As you can see, it is requesting 2,559 refined metals. We can also see that we will be buying them for 132 credits per unit from the station in Argon Prime, and that we can sell them to the station in Hatikva's Choice for 135 credits per unit. We would be making a very small profit from this trade run, but this is just an example, so we're going to follow through with this trade run. I will show you one of my favorite and most profitable trade routes later on in this video. Now we will need to right click on the station we want to buy from. Then click Start Guidance to Object so we know where to go when we're flying our ship. When you reach the station and dock to it, you will be shown a Dock Interactions menu once again. This time, click on Trade. Then click on the slider for the refined metals and drag the mouse all the way to the left to fill up your cargo container with as many as you can fit in there. Remember that the station we are selling to is requesting over 2,000 refined metals. We can only carry 528 of them, so that works out fine. On the right, you will see how many credits this load will cost you. Now you can click on Confirm to complete the purchase. While waiting for the trade to finish, you can go back into your map and set a new guidance on the station you want to sell the refined metals to. Once you reach the station and dock to it, enter the trade menu again, but this time, click and drag all the way to the right to sell all the refined metals you are carrying. Now you will be shown the profit this sale will make you, as well as how much you are selling all the refined metals for. If you're happy with the deal, click on Confirm to complete your trade. Now I will show you how to manually tell your trade ship to do a trade run for you. Be sure to click on Trade Filter on the top there to see what trades are available if they aren't already being shown to you. For this trade run, we are going to make our ship trade refined metals once again. So like last time, we will need to click on Refined Metals. Remember that by doing this, we will be able to easily find the best deal available for us to buy and sell them. Every station in your view will be considered, so be sure to zoom all the way out on your map. Now we can see that a station in True Sight is requesting over 26,000 refined metals and is willing to pay 163 credits per unit. We can also see that a station in Argon Prime has over 14,000 of them available for sale at 131 credits per unit. That would be a profit of 32 credits per unit. Next, you will need to open the Property Owned tab on your left and click on one of the trade ships that an NPC pilot is controlling for you. Now go back to the right side of your map and right click on Refined Metals in the Sold Product section. Click and drag the slider all the way to the left, and if you have enough money, confirm the trade. The ship will now head to the station and complete the purchase. Now you can queue up the order to sell what your trader is about to pick up. Do this by right clicking on Refined Metals under the Bought Production section, and this time drag the slider all the way to the right. As you can see, the profits from this run is much bigger than the profits I got out of my other run. If you are happy with this deal, click on Confirm. Now you can see that the ship is completing its first task by following the blue line. Once it has picked up the products, he will head to the next station and sell them. Now I will show you how to manage the behavior of your trade ship. To do this, click on the Information tab on your left. Make sure you have your trade ship selected, and if it's not, then click on the Property Owned tab, right click on the trade ship, then click Information. Here you can check the order queue of the trade ship. The first order the ship is executing will be on the top, and the next one down is what he will do next. By clicking on the plus icon next to execute trade, you can see that the location your ship is heading to is Argon Prime. Object is the station it's heading to within that sector. Trade will show you that it's buying refined metals at this station, and the amount is how many refined metals it will be buying. Now for the second order, you can see it's going to the sector called True Sight and docking with Hull Part Factory 1 to sell refined metals, of which it will sell all 528 of them. The next section down is the default behavior section. I have personally never found any use for this section, so I don't have enough knowledge on it to include it in this guide. So to make up for this, I will show you some of my all-time favorite trade routes. If you filter what is shown to you down to space weed and space fuel, and provided you have found the stations that are buying and selling them, you can see that the differences between the buying and selling price of these products can be quite large. So by using the method I just showed you for manually sending trade ships to complete trade runs, you can make anywhere between 200,000 to 600,000 credits per run. I am yet to find a better way of racking up the credits through trading. But if you have any better ways of making money, then let me know in the comment section below. I'd definitely be interested to hear about them. Now I will move on with this guide by explaining the different types of auto trading you can set your trade ship to do. The first one will be sector trading. On the map, click on the ship you want to set up as an auto trader. Alternatively, go into your Property Owned tab and double click on the ship you want to use to be taken to it. Now right click in the sector you want the ship to trade in and click Auto Trade In. This will make your ship trade between the stations within that sector. It's not the most profitable auto trading option, but personally I have found that this is one of the best ways to gain reputation with the faction that owns the sector you do this in. Now you need to decide what products this ship will be allowed to trade in that sector. With the auto trading ship selected, go into the information tab on your left. Now click on the plus icon next to auto trade. Here you will see all the ways your ship is currently allowed to trade. By default, every possible product is selected for auto trading, including the ones that are illegal to most factions. If you scroll down to the bottom of this, you can see max gate distance to buy. This tells your trader how many sectors away from its current location that it's allowed to try and buy products from stations. The max gate distance to sell determines how far it can go to sell them. These will be left at 0 because our ship has been set as a sector trader. Now I should tell you about the reaction to event section of your ship behavior. Here you can tell your ship what to do when it is either interdicted by the police, harassed by pirates, and what it should do if it comes across an abandoned ship. The global settings is applied to every new ship that you buy, and I will show you how to change this later in the video. If you turn the global settings option off, you can change what this particular ship will do when one of these events happens. When your ship is interdicted by the police, you can tell your ship to attack the police, comply with the police, attempt to escape from them, or wait. Attacking the police will result in a major reputation hit with the faction that the police vessel belongs to. Complying with the police will result in them scanning your trade ship for illegal goods. If it has none, the police will move on and your trade ship will carry on its orders. If there are illegal goods on board, your trader will drop them all into space and you could still lose a lot of reputation points when this happens. Attempting to escape the police will usually result in a big hit to reputation in my experience, but on the rare occasion it does manage to get away. Wait will make the trader notify you of any of the incidents that occur so you can tell it what to do personally. Again, you will have the same options for when the trader is harassed by pirates. If the trader is told to attack, you will probably lose your ship, unless of course it has a well-equipped combat ship escorting and protecting it. If you choose comply, the trader will drop its cargo and the pirate will run off with what it can. If you choose escape, the ship will try to get away from them. Once again, wait will make the ship notify you and await your command. Next is what the trader will do when it comes across an abandoned ship. Claim if possible will make your trader try to capture the abandoned ship if there are any marines on the trader. If not, the trader will carry on its current orders. Ignore is pretty self-explanatory. Mark will mark the abandoned ship on your map so you can claim it at another time with another ship, or so you can go and claim it for yourself. Protect will try to make your trader protect the abandoned ship until you capture it. Now to change the global setting that is applied to every new ship you buy, you will have to go to the player information tab on the top of your map. You then need to make sure the Empire tab is selected on the left. If it isn't, click on it. Then move down to Global Standing Orders and click. Here you can change all of the global settings to your liking. You can also individually set whether you want to be notified every time they happen to one of your ships or not. Now I will show you how to set up an auto trader to import products to stations within a sector. I'm going to tell the trader to import a specific product to the stations within Argon Prime. However, you don't necessarily have to make it import a specific product, but I'm just going to show you how it's possible. As we can see, there is a decent demand for engine parts in this sector, so this is what we'll get our trader to import. To do this, select the ship you want to use in one of the ways I've shown you earlier in this guide. Next, right-click anywhere within the sector you want to import the products to. Then click on Import Ways To. Now go into the Information tab of your trade ship and click on the plus icon next to Auto Trade. Then cross off all the products the ship is allowed to import to the sector except for engine parts. However, if you want the trader to import any product that any station is requesting within Argon Prime, then don't cross any of them off. When this is done, the auto trader will try to pick the best deal for buying engine parts from any sector that it is capable of reaching. As we can see, this trader is now on its way to a station in Hatikva's choice to buy 246 engine parts. When this is done, the trader will then import them to the Argon Wharf in Argon Prime. Also, down here you can see that the trader will look to buy engine parts from as far as 14 sectors away. I should mention that the maximum distance the trader can look for a trade is determined by the star level of the captain in control of the ship. This star level will increase over time as the trade ship completes trade run after trade run. The process of telling your ship to export products from a specific sector to other sectors is exactly the same. The only difference being that you have to click on Export Ways From instead of Import Ways To. Finally, I will now show you how to set up a Galaxy Auto Trader. A Galaxy Auto Trader will automatically trade products between every sector it can reach depending on the star level of the captain controlling it. Select the trader like I showed you before and right click inside any sector. Then click on Auto Trade Galaxy. Remember that you can decide what products the trader is allowed to trade by going to the behavior section of the ship, then opening up the auto trade options. Also, as you can see, the trader will now look for the products it is allowed to buy from as far away as it is capable, as well as attempt to sell them as far away as it possibly can. This time around, I would suggest that you don't allow it to trade space fuel, space weed or Marja dust, as these are illegal in most of the faction sectors and you will most likely lose faction reputation at some point if you let your ship trade them. If at any point you feel like living on the edge, you can always add them back for trading by clicking on Add Ways, then clicking on them one by one. Also, I highly suggest you assign a capable combat ship to the trader to protect it from pirates and the Xenon. Do this by going into the Property Owned tab, then clicking on the combat ship of your choosing to select it. Then right click on the trader you wanted to protect and click on Default Role Defend. Now the combat ship will travel alongside the trade ship and attempt to protect it when it is in danger. This concludes my guide on manual trading and auto trading. I hope this guide has helped you in some way, as well as improve your gaming experience with X4 Foundations. The next guide I do should be on mining and auto mining, but I can't promise anything just yet. This is only because making these guides takes a lot out of me and an insane amount of time to create, which in turn has led me to neglect my family as well as my own personal time. There will definitely be more to come, but I'm going to need to take a break for a day or two before even starting on the next one. Anyway, if this guide has helped you out, or if you just enjoyed watching it, then please hit that like button, as it definitely encourages me to do more. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe and click that bell button to be notified whenever a new video is released. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.